So this is an iconic view of Tororo. You can see the mountain in the background. You see the... All right, so today we're in Tororo, Uganda, and we're gonna be doing another business tour. And by that, I mean, we're gonna be going around Tororo to look at the city, see the people, see how commercial activity is going, see how busy shops are, and just get a feel for what it would be like to have a business in Tororo, whether it's like a shop, a rental building where you're renting out to tenants, residential, commercial, whether you're running a restaurant. That's the kind of thing we're trying to get a feel for. So today we're in Tororo, and without further ado, let's get active. Let's get active. Check it out. Right off the bat, you can see that Tororo is a lot less busy than Mbale. But that's expected because Mbale has a massive population, a way bigger population. I don't have the figures off the top of my head right now, but I'll put them on the screen. And Tororo is a smaller town. Not only that, but Tororo is not a city, whereas Mbale is a city. So just by those two facts alone, we can understand why Tororo isn't as busy as Mbale. But still, we've got shops. People are, clearly, well, I imagine they're making money, otherwise they wouldn't be renting these shops. But it's not as busy as Mbale. Right, as I mentioned, Tororo isn't as busy as Mbale, and this is the central business area, and I know this because this is the Tororo Central Market over there. So remember yesterday, in my previous video when I was in Mbale, the Mbale Central Market was a lot more busy, and especially because that was interesting, especially because it was quite late. And people were still at the market, still on the roads, still moving about. But this is definitely a reduction in business activity. Not a complete reduction, as you can see. People are still here at their shops and whatnot. But it's a market reduction compared to Mbale. Quick side note, I just came from this stationery shop over here. And I bought this exercise book. Reason being, I bought this pen as well. Reason being, I'm actually going to meet a gentleman who's working with a very well-known business family here, and he's the general manager. And he's given me like a lot of insights and tips on business yesterday, and I want to come back again today to actually take notes this time. So I've got my book and my pen ready. But anyways, yeah. So this is Tororo Central Market, and we are right here, and you can see that it's not as busy as in Mbale. I'm not trying to make the comparison, but I am also kind of trying to make the comparison that if you're investing in Uganda, there's a market difference in the business activity and the population and the economics in Mbale versus somewhere like Tororo, which is a smaller town, which is good because it means that you can actually get in early before the population increases. And somewhere like Mbale might have more expensive prices in terms of land, in terms of renting, in terms of services, versus somewhere like Tororo. It's not as busy yet, so this is a good place to start. And this is actually something that I'm looking into myself. Tororo is actually on my radar, considering the fact that, like I said, I'm going to be meeting someone who's like a general manager for a well-known business group in Tororo. And he's been telling me some interesting things about this area, this town in particular. Some other towns too that I'll get into later, but hey, this is Tororo, so we're gonna stick to Tororo for now. But anyways, yeah, this is it. So we're gonna go inside the central market just to see what it looks like. I actually didn't go inside the one in Mbale, but I have gone in one. I have gone in one in Ginger, and it does look like this, exactly like this. You know, a bunch of aunties selling fruits and vegetables. So this is expected. But I know it's definitely a lot cleaner in here, which I'd say is a red flag in terms of determining how busy it is, right? Because if it's super busy, it wouldn't be very clean in terms of like the floor and stuff. There'd be a lot more dirt on the floor, like kind of. Yeah. But hey, this is Tororo, so let's take it all in. Yeah, so I've just left the market. Honestly, there wasn't really a whole lot to see there, and I don't think there's a whole lot to see in Tororo. It's very small, and really, I think the next thing would be for me to actually go into like the nitty gritties of exactly how much land would cost on certain streets and what kind of businesses would work in this town, because I imagine each town has different kinds of needs, right? Different gaps to fill. So this is just really more of an introduction to Tororo for those who haven't been here before. But off the top of my head, I can see that it's not as busy as some other places, but that's a good thing because it means that it's very likely that this is very early. It's very early, a lot of opportunity to be seized. So if you're early to Tororo, you might as well start your journey of investing in Africa or in Uganda now. Okay, so I've just come out of the office of where the guy I was meant to meet was, but he's currently not at the office, he's currently in the field. And I've got to go to my next destination, so I can't actually stay here and wait for him to come back. So we're gonna have to have a meeting on another day. So I'm gonna save this pen and paper for another day. Anywho, yeah, I'm very bullish on the opportunities in these smaller towns. You know, it's not everyday Kampala, even though it's the capital city. I think there's a lot of untapped potential in places like this. So yeah, so that's probably it for today. Tororo is a small place, so I haven't really got a whole lot to share, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Let us keep on pushing and invest in Africa. More blessings, more life. All right, I'm back in Tororo. This time I'm in my car. Last time I was here, a few days ago, I was walking around and I thought that Tororo was quite small, which it is. It is quite small, but I thought, why don't I just try and drive around and see what Tororo looks like end to end? Because when I was here, it was quite empty, not much going on, not many people. I thought Tororo was quite small, but now I'm seeing there's a lot more people, for sure. There's obviously cars, there's motorcycle taxis, boda bodas, a lot of people down there, like a large amount of people down there. And yeah, it's actually looking like it's quite lively actually. So I'm glad I came back again. But yeah, let's see how Tororo looks. But all in all, it's pretty much the same as it was when I was first here. There is shops, markets, the same kind of usual stuff you see in Ugandan towns. But let's see if I can find anything interesting this time, anything new. So this is an iconic view of Tororo. You can see the mountain in the background. You see the road, which is freshly minted, freshly made. It just looks brand new, which is a really good look. And this right here is Tororo's best ever view. Like honestly, this is actually beautiful. I'm glad I got this on camera because this is my first time going down this road. I haven't seen this before, but this is beautiful. I wish I saw this earlier, but yeah. So I've driven back into town and just looking at Tororo today, it's like I said earlier, is quite a bit more lively. And I wanted to point out a few things. The first thing I wanted to point out was the fact that there's not many multi-story buildings. Like best you'll find in Tororo, a 2-story building like this one, or the Tororo Central Market down there, or this one that says Sun King on it. So at best you're finding 2-story buildings in this place. Not many 3, 4, 5+ story buildings, even down there. I think that one's probably the only 3-story building. Or those two, there's only two 3-story buildings there. But that basically just tells you that, hey, there's probably not a whole lot of investment going into like the construction of buildings just yet. Most of these buildings were constructed many years ago, back when Uganda just had a bunch of 1-story buildings, which were just shops down there. And I think slowly by slowly, people are going to start constructing more multi-story buildings. This one here has the famous pattern that we've talked about many times, where we have shops at the bottom, and then you got like a residential area up top down there. So those are apartments up there, two floors for apartments. This is Tororo Shopping Mall. It says, okay, so you got shops at the bottom and you got offices up top, which is actually good. You know, it shows that Tororo is growing. We're gonna need more than just simple 1-story buildings for shops. We're gonna need to have more apartments, hotels, office space. So this is very promising. And what I want to emphasize here is that Tororo looks like it's growing, and like it's on the cusp of really expanding and growing. Over here, just as I said that, we can see a building is being constructed right there. So that's a multi-story building that we've been looking for, just to show that there is growing interest in having more spaces to be rented by people in Tororo. And let's just go down here. Oops, sorry, I forgot to indicate. There we go. So yeah, so this building here looks like it's being constructed. I'm not sure how long it's been under construction for, but that is that. We've got a sports bar over here. So Ugandans like to drink. That's one thing that they're good at. They like drinking. So you can't go wrong with investing in a bar. And yeah, it looks like we're off the main road now, because the road is now a dirt road. I might need to turn back around and go back. But this is Tororo. Okay, so for what it's worth, this is a hotel, by the way. So it's a hotel up top, and downstairs it looks like it's some sort of office or shop that sells furniture. So that's where it is. Again, I just wanted to re-emphasize that pattern of shops on the ground floor, and then the rest of the floors are either residential or office space. So yeah, thank you again for watching. More blessings, more life. Invest in Africa. Boom. Okay, so I just checked into my hotel in Tororo, and I thought, why not make a video about this? I wasn't going to originally, but this is the place I'm staying at, and I wasn't really able to find any other hotel that was good. But hey, I mean, you know, you gotta start somewhere, and this is what Tororo has. I'm not complaining, by the way, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying that, yo, this is what Tororo looks like right now. I'm in the tallest building in Tororo right now, and this is how Tororo looks. So if you look closely, you can see a shell there, you can see a bunch of trucks, you can see the skyline of Tororo. No tall buildings, meaning that, as I said earlier, Tororo is ripe for development, for further development. It's just waiting for the right investors who are willing to come put some money into Tororo and then see what Tororo can grow into. But yeah, this is the current state of Tororo in 2026, February. And one day Tororo is going to be very different, but this is how it looks right now. I'm saving this for the archives, because I know that after watching this video, many investors are going to start coming to Tororo. They're going to start building. They're going to start building skyscrapers and all that kind of stuff. So Tororo is going to look very different in a couple of years. So yeah, this is it. Once again, I'm going to end the video for the third time. Invest in Africa, more blessings, more life. Enjoy.
Voilà. Bale. Jakona.
So we go and see, you see. Now are you seeing all this?
Yeah.
Like now that place is a bar, but the order meet here. That building. Are you seeing that building?
Yes.
That lady.
My son is for 300,000 shillings.
300,000 shillings. A night, right?
A night, yes. That's bed and breakfast.
Breakfast.
And our rooms are categorized.
So you're going to be here, which means if you had a family, these are just for a couple. This just for a couple. This just for a couple.
Of course, I'm just showing you the categories, and then I'll share the other family one, which has 2 rooms, 2 beds.
People prepare their own food.
Okay, cool. So we've just finished the tour of Tororo, and it has been very fruitful. So I met the guy who I was meant to meet a couple of days ago, but he's been around today. So I went to his office and he took me around. So he showed me a bunch of different, business ventures, focusing mainly on like hospitality. So we talked about hotels, guest houses, bars, pork joints, goat roast, like pork joints or goat joints where you eat goat, roasted goat, or nyama choma as they call in Kenya. But yeah, so it was a good experience. I learned a lot. I gained a lot of insight, and the key challenge that I'm trying to overcome is being able to run such businesses remotely. And we talked about the details of how to actually do this effectively, where you need to find the right trusted partner who's on ground. You need to have monitoring systems that you can track inventory effectively. Overall, it was a good day. A lot to digest. I saw a lot of Tororo, a lot more of Tororo that I hadn't seen on my first day here. But I'm glad I came back. I'm glad I came and saw what Tororo has to offer. I think I'm gonna move ahead and see what I can do in terms of investing in Africa or investing in Uganda or Tororo specifically, or outside of Tororo. I'll see where the opportunity is. But yeah, so I want to continue on my journey. I'm gonna go to Ginger next, and stay blessed, more life. Let's get it.